Hi there, so this video is about the building behind me, or let's better say all those buildings like that behind me, because there are several of those here in Munich. There used to be around 40, now there are a little bit less. And do you have any idea what it could be, this big fat tower here? Well, I tell you, it's a World War II bunker, and there's still some of those around here, all over, scattered all over Munich, and I tried to film all of them, and that's the video. Today there are 23 bunkers, or rather air shelters. That's because all the bunkers here are above ground. There are also underground air raid shelters here in Munich, but you can't see them from the outside, and they are rarely open to visitors. If I've forgotten a bunker, please feel free to write it in the comments. Since Munich is so far south, it was spared by bombing at the beginning of World War II. Isolated bombings began as early as 1940, but it was not until 1942 that the attacks intensified. Not only were industries such as BMW and Krauss-Maffei targets of the Allied bombers, but Munich, as the so-called capital of the movement, the place where the rise of the Nazis began, was also a highly symbolic target. By the end of the war, around 70% of the buildings had been destroyed. In 1941, construction began on the so-called Luftschutz-Sonderbauwerke, air raid shelters, or LS Sonderbauwerk for short. Let's start in the north of the city in Milbertshofen, on the edge of the Olympic Park. This bunker is easy for tourists to find. It was built in 1941 and offered protection to 448 people. Today it appears to be unused and simply stands there like an ivy-covered Rapunzel tower. The bunker on Riesenfeldstraße is only 200 meters away. It is located directly on the middle ring road. It also provided refuge for 448 people. Originally it was the air shelter of the Oberwiesenfeld airfield, which then had to make way for the Olympic Games. The modern extension here is striking. It is an exhaust air chimney for the nearby car tunnel, and the old bunker is actually used for the maintenance of the exhaust chimney. North of here is the bunker on Steinerstraße. It provided shelter for 514 people. In fact, this building is still subject to civil defense regulations. It is therefore an active bunker. A little further north you come to the bunker at Anhalterplatz. The octagonal bunker has a flat roof for light anti-aircraft gun emplacements. To this day, this bunker remains relatively untouched. Apparently, it is not actively used nowadays. We leave Milbertshofen and head east towards Alte Heide. The bunker here on Ungerer Straße was sold to a private investor in 2010, who converted the building into luxury apartments. This involved removing 2,000 tons of material. In order to build the roof terrace, the 2-meter-thick ceiling slabs first had to be broken through. Ironically, after the war the American military government wanted to demolish all the bunkers in Munich. However, as living space was so scarce after the war, the plan was rejected. Today the site is home to luxury apartments where you can turn up your stereo to full volume without disturbing anyone. From here we head south again to Heidhausen. The Nazis wanted to create entirely new neighborhoods here. The name of the project, the Neue Südstadt. Only a model building on Prinzregentenstraße was actually built. At each corner of the block there is a bunker integrated into the satellite town. The western one was used as an art gallery between 1993 and 2009. However, fire safety concerns and the need for renovation led to an end of the project. I was unable to find out anything about the current use of the two other bunkers here. The northern bunker has a completely different look today and somehow appears industrial. Here you can also find a massive bunker door, which at least to me appears to be original. Further east in the Trudering district on Lohenrössler Weg stands what is probably Munich's most beautiful bunker today. It has been converted into a residential building. With its enlarged windows and the dormer windows on the roof, it now looks more like a small castle. The building even won an award for this in 2009. Rightly so, in my opinion. Southeast from here, in the Berg am Leiden district, we come to the high-rise building on Sonnenjochstraße. Here you can get an impression of what the bunker on Lohnbrösslerweg looked like before it was converted. The roof was only added after the war. Originally, anti-aircraft guns stood on the flat roof. It was designed as an air raid shelter for 300 people, but was actually used for up to 1,000 during the war. Also, there is a cell phone tower on top of it. The bunker is not used for anything else today, as disputes in Munich local politics have prevented agreement on whether it should be used for housing or some other purpose. Heading west again, we arrive at the Werksviertel district, now one of the city's most dynamic urban development projects for residential and commercial use. During the war, it was purely an industrial area with factories. Dynamite AG manufactured infantry shells here. As a result, the bunkers here look slightly different than elsewhere. Most of the bunkers are still used commercially today. In some cases, buildings have been added onto them. Or, as here, a modern office building simply towers over the old bunker. The bunker on the corner of Gieseler Steinstraße and Ludwig-Jung-Straße now houses the Bavarian Public Observatory. Here anyone can gaze at the stars in the evening from Monday to Friday. Of course, there are also lectures and other events. I will include a link below. And to complete the picture, here is the last corner bunker on Ludwig-Jung-Straße. As you can see, there's a lot of construction going on here in the Werksviertel district. It will probably look completely different in a few years. A bright red bunker is located 1.5 kilometers, that's nearly a mile, west from the Werksviertel in the Au district. Originally, over 1,000 people found shelter here during bombings. In 2006, it was expanded and given small balconies, a fire escape and its characteristic red color. It is apparently used for band rehearsals today. Southeast, along the Isar River, next to the popular Schürenbad swimming pool, there is another bunker that has been converted into a comfortable living space. It was actually the first bunker in Munich to be converted in this way in 2005. And at that time, the whole thing was not without controversy. Is it acceptable to simply convert such historic buildings? However, I think it is better for a bunker like this to be given a new purpose than to be demolished or left to decay without use. On the other side of the Isar, in the Sendling district on Thalkirchnerstraße, there is another air raid shelter. Apparently it is now used by a football fan club of TSV 1860 Munich, also known as die Löwen, the Lions. So it's fitting that the cat's head is emblazoned above the entrance area, although I think it's more of a panther's head. Munich's southernmost bunker is located in Obersendling on Boschitzrieder Straße. It provided protection from bombs for the industrial workers here and was designed to accommodate 427 people. The bunker is now privately owned but is not in use. Before we head to the two bunkers in Munich city center, which are the ones you are most likely to pass by, we first travel west to the Pasing district. Somewhat hidden away here is an above-ground bunker in a courtyard on Beckerstraße. The bunker is now privately owned and nothing is known about its use. There is a beautiful astronomical clock here, which was probably added later. And from Pasing we continue north to Allach. Right here at the S-Bahn station you will find the next air raid shelter. It was renovated in 2014 and the best part is that you can stay there if you want, because it's a hotel now. And now I'll include a picture from Wiki Comments so you can compare what it looked like back then. It was originally built to protect the Krauss-Maffei workers here. North of here, on the other hand, there is a bunker that is practically in its original condition. It was also built here to protect armament workers it was never really used after the war. This is partly due to the problematic ownership situation, as half of the land belongs to the Catholic Church and the other half to the city. Also, there is a constant debate about its use. Local politics seems to be getting in the way again. And from here we head straight to the city center to our last two bunkers. Let's start with the bunker I was sitting in front of at the beginning of the video. The air raid shelter on Blumenstrasse, just south of the Viktualienmarkt. It was built in 1941 in the form of a Baroque defense tower so that it would blend in with the surrounding buildings. This also served as camouflage, of course. An architecture museum is to be built here in the future. However, the renovation is being carried out in such a way that exhibitions can continue to be held here. If you're lucky, there will be an exhibition on when you are here, and then you'll also be able to see the inside of the bunker. The last bunker is located on Hochbunker. This bunker can even be visited regularly, as the building is used by the Museum of Urban and Contemporary Art. Also, the main exhibition is in the former substation at the rear. The bunker is also often open to the public. Currently you can see Banksy's famous shredded painting, Girl Without Balloon there, and the bunker itself, of course. I will again provide all further links below to museums and exhibitions, including the hotel in the bunker. I don't get any money from them, nor do I know if the hotel is any good, but maybe some of you bunker fans would like to spend the night in the bunker. I have now counted 23 bunkers in Munich. Online you can read about 40 former bunkers, but only 4 demolished bunkers. I don't know where the other 13 bunkers have disappeared to. If you know, please leave a comment. Or join me in a tour of Munich in search of bunkers. Here's my homepage and email address. See you in the next video. Philip.